The scene opens with a dimly lit hallway inside Trump Tower. The camera moves slowly, capturing the grand but eerily quiet atmosphere. A deep voice narrates, "For years, Barron Trump has remained a mystery, seen but rarely heard. Unlike the other Trump children, Barron has kept his life hidden from the world. Until now." A montage of Barron growing up flashes on screen. Baby pictures, rare footage of him at public events, and moments where he seemed uncomfortable in the spotlight. Then a sudden jump cut to an eerie silence. But behind the cameras, what is life really like for the youngest Trump? The video then transitions into Barron's daily routine. Unlike most teenagers, he wakes up in a massive penthouse suite, attended by security at every turn. While other kids his age are taking the subway to school, Barron is driven in an armored SUV, escorted by Secret Service agents. Then, an abrupt shift in tone. The narrator leans in. "But what if we told you that Barron's life isn't as glamorous as it seems? What if behind the wealth, power, and privilege, there's a shocking reality waiting to be uncovered?" The screen fades to black. The scene transitions to Barron's school life at Oxbridge Academy, a prestigious school in Florida. Unlike the children of other world leaders, Barron's education is strictly private, with very few photos or videos of his school experience. While most high school students are posting TikToks and hanging out after school, Barron lives a life unlike any other teenager in America. Then the first shocking truth is revealed. He has almost no personal freedom, his social media presence, completely controlled, his movements, monitored at all times, even his interactions with friends, limited and scrutinized. A former staff member's blurred-out interview appears. The security measures around him are extreme. It's not just about protecting him, it's about controlling everything he does. The scene fades to a secret detail. Barron's only real escape is through gaming. It's rumored that he spends hours playing online games, talking to people who don't even know who he really is. But how much of that is even real? Then another cut to black, teasing the next big revelation. Barron Trump was born into one of the most famous families in modern history. But unlike his older siblings, who embraced the Trump legacy, the business, the brand, and the spotlight, Barron has always been different. At major public events, while Donald Trump basks in the crowd's energy, Barron is often seen standing quietly in the background, his face unreadable. His reluctance to step into the political or business world is obvious to those paying attention. While his father built an empire and his siblings turned that empire into their careers, Barron has remained an enigma. But the question is, does he even want to be a Trump? Rumors suggest that Donald Trump has high expectations for his youngest son. Sources close to the family claim that Trump sees Barron as the future of the dynasty, the next leader who could carry the Trump name into politics long after he's gone. A former White House staff member, speaking anonymously, shares a shocking revelation. Donald sees Barron as his greatest legacy. He believes that one day Barron could follow in his footsteps and even run for president. But the real question is, does Barron even want that? Unlike Don Jr. and Eric, who eagerly defended their father on news networks and social media, Barron has never made a public political statement. Even Ivanka, the polished and strategic daughter, has played a major role in the Trump organization. But Barron? He stays silent. Then comes the real twist. Insiders claim that Barron may be completely uninterested in politics. Instead, he's rumored to be passionate about technology, gaming, and even fashion. But would he ever be allowed to follow his own path? Can someone born into a dynasty ever escape its expectations? The scene ends with a powerful image. Barron watching one of his father's speeches on TV, his expression unreadable. Most people assume that growing up as a Trump means living a life of luxury, wealth, and privilege. But few realize the emotional toll it takes. Unlike most teenagers who have the freedom to make mistakes, to learn, to grow, Barron has spent his life under a microscope. Every expression, every movement, every word, or lack of one, is analyzed and criticized. Imagine being a teenager and having the entire world watching your every step. For Barron, that's just a normal Tuesday. His mother, Melania Trump, has always been fiercely protective. Reports suggest that she keeps Barron as far away from the political world as possible. ensuring that he has a private life despite his family's massive public presence. Melania's number one rule: Barron comes first. She made it clear from day one that he wouldn't be used as a political tool. But no matter how hard she tries, the Trump name follows him everywhere. There are even whispers of tension within the family. Some claim that Donald wants Barron to take on a more public role, while Melania fights to keep him out of it. A body language expert dissects footage of Barron at public events. You can see it in his posture. He's uncomfortable, guarded. Unlike his father and siblings, he doesn't seek the spotlight. He avoids it. The most revealing moment comes from a leaked conversation between insiders, claiming that Barron hates the attention and that his dream is to live a normal life, away from the cameras. But in a family like the Trumps, is that even possible? Barron Trump is no longer a child. As he grows older, the world is watching, waiting to see what path he will take. But the biggest question remains: does he have a choice at all? Despite his privileged upbringing, sources close to the Trump family claim that Barron has always felt the weight of his last name. Unlike his siblings, who have fully embraced their roles in the Trump empire, Barron seems to walk a fine line between duty and personal freedom. One of his former classmates shares an unexpected insight. Barron never bragged about being a Trump. If anything, he acted like it was more of a burden than a privilege. He never talked about politics. He was just normal. But being normal is nearly impossible when your father is one of the most famous and controversial figures in modern history. The pressure behind closed doors. Rumors suggest that Donald Trump has high hopes for Barron, perhaps even higher than for his other children. Sources claim that Trump sees Barron as his greatest legacy, the one who could truly cement the Trump name for future generations. A former Trump associate even reveals, Donald believes Barron could be president one day. He talks about it more than people realize. He thinks Barron has the presence, the intelligence, and most importantly, the name. But what if Barron doesn't want that? Close friends claim that Barron is more interested in technology, gaming, and business than in following his father's footsteps into politics. In fact, insiders claim that Barron has a strong interest in artificial intelligence and coding, and has even been spotted meeting with tech industry leaders. If Barron wasn't a Trump, he'd probably be starting his own company or working in tech. That's what he's really passionate about. Despite this, Trump insiders claim that the pressure for Barron to step into the political spotlight is growing. Some have even speculated that Trump's inner circle is already discussing potential future roles for Barron within the Trump brand. But Melania, she's having none of it. Melania's fierce protection. For years, Melania Trump has been Barron's shield. Unlike other first children, Barron was rarely seen in public during Trump's presidency. Melania made sure of it. A former White House staff member explains, Melania's number one rule was simple: Barron was off limits. She made it clear that he would not be used for political gain, and she stuck to that. And yet, despite her efforts, the Trump name follows Barron wherever he goes. Some wonder, will he ever be able to truly break free? The scene ends with a powerful, slow-motion shot of Barron walking away from a Trump Tower building, looking over his shoulder. The weight of expectations is visible in his expression. As Barron Trump steps into adulthood, the world waits to see what his next move will be. But the real twist is that Barron himself may not even know yet. Many assume that growing up as a Trump means living a life of wealth, power, and influence. But few truly understand what it means to be born into a dynasty you didn't choose. Imagine being born into a name that already defines your entire future. No matter what you want, the world has already decided who you should be. A former political analyst weighs in. Barron Trump will always be a public figure, whether he wants to be or not. The real question is, how will he handle it? Some insiders claim that Barron is already making moves behind the scenes. There are rumors that he has been quietly working on a tech startup, completely separate from the Trump brand. Others believe that he may eventually embrace his family legacy, but on his own terms. A glimpse into his mind. A rare leaked audio clip from someone close to the Trump family reveals a surprising truth. Barron has no interest in politics. He actually finds it exhausting. He's always been more interested in technology, innovation, and creating something new. The idea of running for office, that's not him. But then comes the biggest revelation of all. Barron might be planning to leave the U.S. entirely. Some sources claim that he has been exploring opportunities abroad, considering studying in Europe, or even starting a new life away from the intense media scrutiny of the U.S. A former staff member reveals he's seen what politics did to his father. He's seen the hate, the criticism, the never-ending pressure, and I think he wants something different for himself. But can he truly escape the Trump legacy? Final emotional moment. The scene shifts to a quiet moment. Barron sitting in a private study, surrounded by books and computers. He stares out the window, lost in thought. His reflection is seen in the glass, half of his face in the shadows, half in the light. The narrator delivers the final, thought-provoking words. At the end of the day, Barron Trump is not just a last name. He's a young man trying to find his own path in a world that has already decided who he should be. But will he ever be allowed to just be Barron? The screen fades to black, leaving the audience with more questions than answers.